Gentlemen, it's again with deep regret that I have to go light on the jokes this week because the move I'm about to talk about in this video, I feel is actually days away. If I write an SNL script and focus on the yucks instead of the pomps in this video, there's a good chance you're gonna miss it. And what I wanna do in this video is share these projects in this space that I think are going to pomp. And yes, I said similar last week, you know, the good old YouTuber KOL, emergency video, act now. But unlike other KOLs and people on YouTube, when I say urgent and listen the f up, I actually mean it. Every single thing I said would happen last week happened. Boomer coins pumped, NFTs revived, and AI coins showed the biggest gains. In fact, all the coins that I said just a month ago were gonna give turbo gains, guess what? They've given turbo gains. The only reason you're not comically up right now is because you didn't pay attention. Hopefully this has made it brutally apparent why I'm referred to in crypto as the golden alpha poppy KOL, the golden god, the most woke, the tri-state orange eating champion. These are not titles I gave myself. I don't just sit here on the internet and talk myself up. These titles come from my many accolades and my giant magnum dong ability to basically shoot 3-pointers cross court left and right in crypto and then savagely dump on people's grandmas who, look, I'm very happy you got them all on Thanksgiving because the dumps we're gonna take on your family members are gonna be, oh, ha! But look, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on jokes because this is an extremely urgent video and I don't want to talk myself up too much because, as you know, I am extremely humble. I am also known as the most humble KOL. But seriously, okay, all right, I'm getting carried away. This video is no different. Actually, today's video is more disgustingly urgent than probably any video I've released this year because this is the last calm before the move. And when I talk about the move, this is the move I've been telling you about for a literal calendar year. I've been sitting in this dark room screaming at you about this to negative comments, people saying, oh, there's no bull coming. Oh, your AI coins haven't moved. Look what's happening now. Yes, a calendar year. A year ago, I was telling you about Destra at 1/10 the price it is right now.
Headshot.
0x0.
Double kill.
GPU.
Killing spree.
I got you in just a few months ago in Neural at like 10 cents.
Godlike.
Hell, even recently, I pointed out Pi. Boom.
Ultra kill.
I even hinted at pin link on my Twitter within the last 2 weeks, and now it's up 7x.
Monster kill.
Hell, every single mid and smaller cap AI coin that I've talked about on this channel for the last year was on Binance's latest AI coin list. Every single one. I told you about at 1/10 of the price and 1/50th of the price they're about to go to. I am like a 12-year-old hopped up on ketamine and Zen packs on a 25 kill running riot Halo killing spree streak.
My heart's beating, my hands are shaking, but I'm still shooting, I'm still getting the headshots. It's like boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
And the reason why this video is so sweaty is because this is truly your last chance to capitalize on the AI coin move before it is totally out of hand. But for real, we don't have much time, so let's get into it. I want to give you a quick recap on what's going to happen and what the thesis is. And then I want to dive into the coins and projects I think are going to do very, very, very well. Now, my first tip for you is follow me on Twitter because this is where I'm going to release stuff much earlier and this bull run is moving at snapneck speeds like we said it would. I can at max release one of these videos per week. I can post on Twitter all day and the posting there, quality content. Now that's out of the way, let's dive into my computer. All right, so let's discuss. I think we should discuss. So I want to talk about a few things before we get into the projects. Now look, I know you little apes, you little retards, you little baboons, you just want me to jump in the projects, you want to FOMO into them, and you think you're going to make tons of gains and everything's going to work out really well. It's not. You guys are, 95% of you are going to lose here. Even with me giving you this red hot, stinky bukkake of alpha, you're still probably going to lose. So please read the disclaimer that is in this video. I have written it myself. It's not even in legal speak. I really think you should read it. It's extremely important. You need to know how insanely risky getting into anything we're going to talk about in this video is. And even if you're watching this right now, you are competing with people that have been doing this for like a decade. You are likely still going to lose. So, hey, please read that disclaimer. Unlike other channels, it's not there just to cover my ass legally. It's literally there to prepare you for all the amounts of losses and devastation you're probably about to see. I cannot stress that enough. The best thing I can actually do besides just giving you projects, which is actually the worst thing I can do. I don't think you should buy anything I talk about in this video. I think you should be a smart cookie and use the lessons and things I'm going to share with you in this video to find your own coins, because there's a lot of them that haven't moved yet. And by thinking on your own, that's where you're going to see the biggest gains. So the best thing I can actually do with you is arm you with the information that's going to allow you to understand what's happening in the market. Now, nobody is going to watch this video. You're all going to have super ADHD and skip to the end of it, which is why with the coins, I'm going to talk about a varied amount of coins, and I'm going to hide some of the best picks in between and spruce them throughout this video so that you can't do that, because I actually want you to succeed here. And everybody that skips past this part that I'm about to talk about right now is going to get anally reamed by people that can actually read this market. So please watch this. What we need to talk about first is what's happening in the market in relationship to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we need to talk about how this move is probably going to work out and somewhat kind of review the last run, because that's going to heavily affect what's going to happen right here. And if you understand that, you're going to know when to get into this move and likely start getting out of this move, because we are 100% entering or beginning to enter profit-taking zones. I don't think anyone should be eating their entire bags right now, but as we cross 100K in Bitcoin, as we start getting up there, this is when we want to start taking consistent profits regardless of what the market's doing. So with that all in mind, let's discuss. So what you need to understand is you have to get that all of crypto aligns and moves on itself from top to bottom. So what is happening in Bitcoin matters deeply with all the coins that are lower down that we're going to be talking about right here, specifically altcoins like AI coins. Okay, and then what is going on with Bitcoin deeply ties into Ethereum and so on and so forth. So you have to understand these moves because they time off of each other. And look, I hate looking at past runs and saying this is exactly what's going to happen, but it's been a carbon copy. And every single crypto bull run, we've seen something very similar to this. Now, does that mean there's some certainty that I can offer you right here? No, there's no certainty I give you. We could be done tomorrow and that's it. Everything in this video could be proven wrong this week. I offer you no certainty whatsoever. We are gambling here, and I stress that in every single video. But we want to look at what is most likely to happen. And what is most likely to happen is probably what we've seen every single time happen before. And it's setting up for this literally like a Cardano holders Friday night. You know, like clockwork, every Friday they're on their couch texting their wife, "Where you at?" It's very predictable. It always goes this way. So let's try and use that to our advantage. So if we come and look at Bitcoin, we're going to look at the last run right here. And where I think we are on this run is very similar to 20,000, okay? And this move right here to right here. Now, if you look at this move right here, look at the date, 12/12. And then we go look at Ethereum, and we go bring this up and then move the chart over here, and then right here. All right, if we look at that same date, let's go 12/12. Let's find it. You can really see Ethereum didn't start moving until almost 20 days after Bitcoin made this move. Now, if you look at Twitter and you look at everybody in crypto, the whole conversation has been, why isn't Ethereum been moving? Why isn't Ethereum been moving? This is actually pretty par for the course. Now, the reason why Ethereum moving is so important is this thing called alt season. So if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, you know, all of us retards get on Twitter and declare that alt season is going to happen every 2 weeks. It's basically what we do. And it never happens because did you miss the initial part where I say we're all retards? You shouldn't be doing or listening to any of us whatsoever. We are just people with a mental disorder trading Ponzi schemes to make up for our complete lack of a social and dating life. But don't worry, we have hentai to cover up that void mixed with the gambling that you see right here. With that in mind, I do think we're about to see alt season. Here is why. So you can look at Ethereum right here, and you can see it really didn't start moving until well after this Bitcoin move right here. So 12/12, 12/12. You've seen the dates. You can put it together if you have an IQ over 10. Now, what are we seeing right now? We go and look at the last month of Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin make this big juicy move up. Now, what is our buddy Ethereum doing? Now, I don't buy Ethereum. Ethereum isn't really relevant to what we're going to be buying here, but it's super relevant to the alt season we're about to see. Because you can see, if we look at the last month, or actually the last year, let's actually go look at all, you can see Ethereum hasn't even crossed its all-time high yet, and it's starting to make this move towards its all-time high. Now, okay, I'm like some guy drawing conspiracy boards. I promise this works. Trust me. We're all going to make tons of money. Or at least you'll have someone to blame when you lose all of your money here very shortly. If we look when Ethereum made that move in about around like January 1st last year, let's go look at a similar coin. Aave is a really good example of this. So Aave was like a classic altcoin last run. I think it's going to do really well this run. We're not here to talk about Aave. We're here to talk about this. So if we look at this, go way back, you can see when Ethereum started making its move around about the 1st, you can see about a week later, All right, 15 days, 7 days later, Avi started making its pump, and then it pumped super duper hard. This is what we call alt season, because all the altcoins underneath Ethereum, they kind of wait for Ethereum to move. Ethereum waits for Bitcoin, altcoins wait for Ethereum. So we're not going to see a gigantic move until I think Ethereum starts really closing in on its last all-time high, or even breaks it. I personally think when we see about a $4,000 Ethereum, that's when we're going to start seeing things really start to move. Now, what is then going to happen is we're going to see all of the altcoins start to go wild. Okay, so what we saw last week, I think, was the preparation for this. I told you AVAX, I told you Cardano, I told you FTM, I told you DOT, I told you all of these coins were going to zoom literally about right here last week. Guess what? They did. Now, what I think this was the preparation. This is everybody getting positioned, because if you look at the moves I was talking about before, if we can go back over to Avi and we go look at this move right here, we didn't just see Avi go and do like a 25-30%, it did like a 2-3x. And you saw the same with a lot of the smaller altcoins. So I think that was more of a preparation for the move, which I think is about to happen, because we're seeing Ethereum, conducting the conspiracy right now, finally start to make its move. And if you look at it, the amount of money starting to pour into Ethereum is flipping the Bitcoin ETF for the first time ever. So what does this all mean? Well, my silly Padawan, this is what it means. So Bitcoin's gone, what the f is this? So to restate, we've seen Bitcoin make its move. Now we're about to see Ethereum make its move, because it follows it. You can see everything kind of moves in a wave. The content in this channel is so bad. All right. And then what happens is the boomer altcoins are going to move. And then what is going to happen is the most hyped narratives in crypto are going to move. By far, the most hyped narrative, I think even more than meme coins right now. I think meme coins have had their play. I think they're going to cool off for a little bit. Now, the most hyped narrative by far, infinitely to the most zillionth degree, is AI. And then those coins move. Okay. And so last run, this was like NFTs and gaming. And so we saw crazy gains in those. And I think we're about to see crazy gains in NFTs and gaming, but I think they're going to come a little bit after the AI run. The AI move is definitely the most short-term, pumpiest thing we can get in on right now, which is good and bad, because if you were with me since, earlier this year, we were literally buying Destra at like sub 10 cents. Okay. So if you wanted to think long term and get into things beforehand, that's when you should have been getting in, when I was screaming at you to buy this right here, all over the place. But look, everybody's getting into crypto now. You might as well FOMO in and get into it now. Why not? Doing what everybody else is doing. It's a proven investment strategy. But again, I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg on what altcoins are going to do, because again, we haven't even seen Ethereum cross its all-time high. When Ethereum crosses its all-time high or starts busting 4,000, this is when things they're going to really move. And now we're kind of in the middle of a bull market. I think we're still in the second or third inning of all this. So zooming out here, what do I mean by the most hyped narrative in crypto right now? Everyone's talking about AI coins for good reason. One, it's probably one of the soundest uses for all of crypto. Now, I have an AI video that's linked below in this video if you want to figure out why AI crypto works so well. Long story short, it comes in various forms that I'll talk about here in a second. But the thing you need to get away or get into, if you don't care, which I know you don't give a shit, you just want to ride pumps and make money here and then dump on people's grandmas, that's fine. That's what we're all here to do. Don't ever let the people that pretend like they're here for tech and actual evolvement of our society, don't ever act like you need to be one of those. Those people are dorks. It's completely okay to just be honest and be saying and just admit that you're a greedy little shit that just wants to ride pumpy coins, dump them on people's grandmas, and then run off into the hills. That's completely fine. Come join the team. We have fun here. The reason this is going to pump so hard is, it's probably one of the best use cases for crypto. Using blockchain to decentralize AI power, the renting of AI units, the distribution of the data, it's phenomenal. It's going to be something that we use for everything. And as you can see, for example, it's like Amazon AWS, and centralization of AI processing power, it's already creating tons of different problems as some companies are hogging all of it. It's really hard to rent it. It's really hard to sell it and distribute it. This fixes all of that. And so with AI being the biggest freaking thing that's going to be happening in our lifetime probably, and by far the pumpiest narrative in all investing for the next couple of years, we're going to see something I think blows the dot-com boom out of the water. Of course, this is going to be the hottest narrative in crypto. On top of that, you have to understand that crypto is run by an elite group of super rich people, which basically every finance market is, but it's even more defined in crypto because of how new the market is. There's been people that got into 2013, they made billions of dollars, and they all own all the exchanges, all the things we do, and they just basically decide what narrative is going to pump. If you look at Binance right now and CZ, they are really talking about AI coins a lot. Why? Because they obviously want to pump the shit out of it. They're not doing it because they're not here for the tech. No, they're not. All right, they're here to get comically rich and buy $6.2 million bananas and then eat them publicly. This is what they're here for. We are all essentially like the guy who's dating the girl that's an absolute smoke show. We're like, no, she's like in the anime and she's really cool and stuff. No, you're just here because she's hot and has a nice ass. Let's just say it like it is. So if you look at this last post from Binance, they listed all these AI coins to get people kind of ramped up about it. And CZ, the owner of Binance, has been talking about it. I think it's pretty apparent what they want to have happen. Now, one thing I want to tip my hat at is every single smaller cap coin has seen phenomenal gains on this list, aka everything from the top 4 down. I've talked about in this channel for the last year. You could have just got into these if you listened to me. I don't like to toot my horn. As you know, I am super humble. I am the Alpha KOL Humble 2024 winner. You know this. I know this. But again, let's not restate the facts too much. They're clearly just listing the crap out of these things. They're going to be listing these things very quickly. This is going to be the hottest narrative by far. And so you wrap that all together with what we're looking at. We're looking at Bitcoin going and settling, Ethereum going back to its all-time high, all the boomer coins starting to move. And then very shortly after, what we're trying to move into right now is all the AI coins are going to make their crazy, crazy moves because they are by far the hottest narrative. Then I think in 2025, we're going to see gaming move. I think we're going to see NFTs really move. The big brain move right now is actually getting in these spaces if you want to be early to stuff. But none of you guys want to do that. You just want to get into the pumps that are happening now. So by all means, let me help you with that. Now, just for cool points, I'm going to make some quick little calls on boomer coins. I think AVAX and Cardano are, of course, going to do very well. The boomer coins I think are going to move especially well here are going to be FTM and the DOT ecosystem. I even think we might see like some Moonbeam revivals. And Kusama, I think, are going to do really well. And so I think these boomer coins right here that have kind of been forgotten are going to do very well. And I mentioned these just for clout here in 2 weeks when they pump super hard. I didn't even include it in the screen because I don't know how to work my computer the right way. But let's talk about AI coins and the coins are going to do very well. Now, first things first, follow me on Twitter at ZSS Becker. This is where you can get all this information way earlier. I cannot state it enough. You shouldn't just be relying on this YouTube. But if you are watching me on YouTube, like 97% of you aren't subscribed. This bull market is going to move super fast. My videos are going to help you the most if you watch them in the first day of dropping. So you should subscribe so you see these like instantly, because all the information that's going to be on my channel during this bull run is extremely time sensitive. So subscribe. Also, before we get into these coins, please read the disclaimer, okay? I have to stress, I am heavily invested in a lot of these coins. If you jump into any of these coins, I want to be straight with you. You are hopping on a trade with me where if I sell it, you're going to be at a negative because of it. I'm not going to mention just coins I own on this channel. I'm going to mention tons of other coins that I think are great as well. But I am heavily invested in these things. I invested in these things bigly years ago. And trust me, I intend to sell the coins. So please read the disclaimer because I don't want to go on my giant soapbox. I break down all my thoughts. And in every single coin I'm partnered with, advised, have done paid consultations for or helped with their marketing, or just straight up heavily invested in, is listed in my Twitter. So you can clearly see everything I'm partnered with, advised, heavily invested in, all completely transparent. So please read everything in that document, read the disclaimer below before even considering investing in anything I'm talking about. Actually, don't buy anything I'm talking about. Go find your own coins. Don't even get into crypto. You're going to lose all your money. But please read all of that before even considering hopping into anything I talk about in this video. Okay, let's get to it. All right, so let's talk about building an AI portfolio. So I'm going to start with the big chunky coins that are really safe that I think 95% of people watching this video should get and then just stop there. And I'm going to work my way down into the middle and the lower caps that come with a lot more risk. And what do I mean by a lot more risk? A lot of people think like, oh, they'll eventually dump or something like that. What I mean by risk is everything in this list I'm about to mention is going to dump super hard at some point and probably take 80% losses, even the big safe coins. These are not S&P investments. This is not investing in bonds. This is crypto mid and low cap investing. Everything here is going to take crazy dives. For example, NEAR is probably the best big chunky AI coin you can get into. Here's where it topped out last run. It got down to $1. All right, this is a 95% drop on the best AI coin in the entire market, the safest, most conservative pick I can give you. So please, a year from now, 6 months from now, a week from now, this is going to happen at some point, and you're going to see all the gains completely erased. So that's what I mean by risk. But as we get into the smaller coins, the risk you're going to see is stuff like this. Now, we managed to pull this one out, and I was able to navigate this perfectly for everybody on Twitter, which is why you should follow me, because I'm a fucking goddamn genius. Generational talent. But you can see, PAL was one of the most reputable coins in AI, and they released a really bad PR statement, and the coin went from 34 cents all the way down to 10 cents. Took a 75% dive right here during a bull market. As we get into this, a lot of these smaller coins and everything I get into, they're going to have this same exact price action. Heck, I expect a few of them to rug, because what I am looking for in crypto is narratives that are going to pump. I'm looking for coins that are going to move the hardest. You have to understand, yes, we are investing in tech. We are investing in the future. But what we're really investing in here is people, narratives, and stories. And so what I look for is stories that are going to move coins the most. These coins that we're looking at are not organized by best technology. There are coins like Destra, for example, that have crazy better technology than a lot of coins up here, but they're all up here. There's coins that are in the absolute dump that have better technology and better teams behind them, but they don't know how to market well. And so again, we want the coins that not only have good teams in tech, we want the coins that have the narrative. So please understand that. We're going to see some devastation, even in coins I mentioned right here, once you get into the mid and the lower caps. That's why I think if you are new to this, you should stick to the bigger, larger, more reputable coins. As you can see, this can even happen to good mid-cap coins like PAL. PAL went and took a 75% dive. I told everybody to relax, chill, wait to see what will happen. It's recovered because I've never made a mistake in crypto ever. But jokes aside, as we get into the lower coins, expect action like this. I expect a lot of the coins I mentioned as we get in the mid and lower caps to take these big giant dives, and you should just be prepared for that. Now, let's actually get into these projects. Again, read the disclaimer in the comments. It's not for jokes and giggles. This is your last chance to make a wise decision. You should probably leave this channel forever. So if I'm going to build an AI bag from scratch, if I'm a beginner or I just want a good safe bag, I'm going to put Near, Render, Tau, Akash, and Aoz Network all in one bag, and I'm going to call it a day. You're good. You're good. These are probably going to see phenomenal gains in this run. You really can't go wrong with them. You could also put in Internet Computer. You could put in FET. You could put in Theta. You're going to see some really good gains here. That's fine. If you want to make just a 5, 10x in crypto, this is where you stop at. This is where, if you don't know how to trade on chain, if you don't understand what alt season is, you don't understand what altcoin rotations are, you don't have a Magnum Dong, this is where you stop at. Well, I do have some Near, and I do really like Akash Network. Where I start my bag at is Aoz Network, because I think this is like the smallest big cap coin that's going to do phenomenally well. And all the coins I'm going to mention right here, I'm not going to list what each one does. You can look at my past AI video where I really get into the projects. That's not what we're here to do. And again, this video is kind of rushed. What you need to understand is that every AI coin does one of like 4 things. Either it manages the distribution of data, which, for example, I own an AI company actually, and one of the hardest things to do is actually getting the servers and processing power for that, because you have to make these big upfront deals. It's very complicated. It's kind of a mess. AI crypto allows the distribution via blockchain by holding the tokens, the coins, and whatnot. So it's very powerful in that regard. Another front on what blockchain does is decentralizes the AI so it's not controlled by any one party. So for example, what a lot of people are able to do is they're able to rent their computers, their processors, their servers out across the entire interwebs, and there isn't some intermediary like Amazon that can turn it on and off. So it's completely under their control. So with that, another big narrative inside of AI is DPIN, or privacy, which allows being anonymous and doing the things I just talked about, running the GPUs or the power or servers or buzzwords, or also running out the computers. So that's the other big narrative, which is DPIN. Finally, a lot of these coins also control or provide access, or actually just provide revenue from services that are based on AI. So for example, PAL or 0x0 are really good examples of that. Neural is another good example of that. And then finally, the last thing we're going to see is turning these into real world assets, which is allowing the rental of your own servers or processing power. So for example, Pinlink, for example, allows you to go get a bunch of servers, throw them all together, and then start renting them out super easily. And all these things I just talked about plug into each other. They all borrow from each other because they need privacy or power or some form of anything I just mentioned. So that's what they do. And without those things, running AI, selling AI, renting AI becomes extremely more inefficient. This is going to be the biggest industry in the world. It already is. crypto turns it on its head. I'm not going to give that speech for every single coin we get into. I'll mention kind of casually what it does. That's what you need to understand. We're here to talk about the coins that have the hot hand in these narratives. So where I'm going to start at is EOS, and it manages the distribution of power, streaming power and whatnot. That's going to be my North Star, biggest coin usually in my AI bag. If we keep going down, I think Echelon Prime, it ties in the gaming. I think that's going to do super duper well. That's another big coin I would have at the top of my bag. I don't own any Echelon Prime because I think it's going to get the same returns as EOS. So you can pick either one. You can have both. Do as you choose. Now, the coin I think is going to be the massive breakout winner that everybody's very well aware of at this point. You can see it was listed number 4 on the Binance CZ to pump list. And so I think once we get out of the big cap coins, Destra is about a $400 million market cap. I think it's going to multiple billion-dollar market caps. And if any of the coins that are at like a mid cap that I think are going to provide crazy returns, I think Destra is probably the winner right there. Everybody's looking at it. It has the hottest of hot hands. We've been in this since sub 10 cents. So it's already starting to get pretty hot right here. And as these coins start to pump right here, you have to understand this channel. A lot of people are on profit. I'm in turbo profit in these AI coins. So even as we start to pump right here, I really do suggest once we start moving and we see the Ethereum all time, it's time to start taking some consistent profits. And I super suggest that you watch my selling video on this channel because that's my exit strategy and that's how I plan to take profits. We're not trying to catch the absolute top. And on this video, I know you're probably looking at like, when's the absolute top for all these coins? I don't know. So please keep that in mind as I talk about these coins. Now, if we're talking about mid-cap coins, 0x0, again, just look at the returns it's got in the past month. It's been crazy. I don't think this is going to stop anywhere soon. You can see it's already approaching its old all-time high. And I think the run we're about to see is past all-time highs. And so these could get really out of hand. And I think the speculation we're going to see on AI, mostly in relation to like NVIDIA's market cap and the stock market, is going to drive these top coins to go to like 20 billion, $30 billion market caps, and that's going to cause massive speculation and send Destra to like multiple billions. It's going to send OXO to a billion or more. And then I think another coin that's kind of reclaimed its je ne sais pas is going to be PAL. Now, they got in a little bit of trouble for their bad PR poopy statement. If you still don't want to take risk with it, I totally understand. I don't actually care if you buy any of these coins or not. I think you should actually use the logic I'm using in this video to go find your own coins. Because if you notice, there's like 100 fucking coins here. I haven't looked into all of them. There's probably some really, really good ones out there. I've heard like good things about Zig Chain. I don't know what the fuck Gollum is, but you know, that's a high market cap, so it must be good. Like what the hell is IO.net? There's so much more research left to do. So please, if you want to use your own brain, I welcome it. I think PAL, though, is going to go right back to its kind of golden boy state that it had. I think it's going to go back to all-time highs. It's an easy pick right here if you want to make some returns. You can see people are already FOMOing back into it. Easy pick in the mid caps. Now, some other ones that I think are going to be really juicy is you got to find coins that are not specifically on this list. I think Altura just moved into the space and made a move very, very similar to Neural or Echelon because it provides a lot of the power for NFT assets and games, but what they just moved into is providing AI on top of those assets. So combining the NFTs with AI, if you can picture an NFT that brings its own AI brain with it, this is what Altura is doing, and I think it's a phenomenal move for it that's going to send it to probably its old market cap of like 300, 400 million. If the run keeps going, we're seeing in the same narrative, we're seeing crazy strength, which is another coin that's kind of the mid-cap levels now, that we got in at 10 cents. Like we got in our $1, excuse me. We got into Neural like right here. This is when we started talking about it. Around these points like right here. And the gaming and AI narrative is super duper hot. I think the NFT plus AI narrative, because you're going to have AIs that have their own personalities, their own history, they're all whatnot going on. They're going to be like racehorses almost. You combine that together with NFTs and then you have Altura. So I think Altura is one that's not on the AI list that they just announced that they're moving into AI and doing this with their NFT and all their tech. So I think this can run just like Neural. And if we're going to talk about Neural, it shows no sign of stopping at all. I think this is going to be a gem of gems. It already is a gem of gems. It's one of probably the hottest hands. So if I'm looking at mid caps, Neural. Now, if we're looking at this list, there's another one that's very good, but not on this list that we talked about last video, and it's making its charge. You can see all these are just like time for all-time high, but anyone is probably the king narrative when it comes to DePIN, which is privacy. They sell tools and tech that plug into all these AI things that we're discussing in this video, but then make it anonymous. Hence the name anyone. All right, but this one has the best hot hand when it comes to DePIN. So you can see it's already hit like kind of the mid-cap levels. I think this one is running to billions too if this keeps going. It plugs into all the things we just talked about above. It's essential for everything that's going on in AI. So of course, I think anyone is going to do stupid well. Now, if we're moving into more smaller cap coins, here's some ones I think are going to do really well. So smaller caps in AI now are like ones that are around 100 million. They've really run. I'll get into some smaller ones here in a second that are small enough for me to mention on the channel. But you can see Hash AI, I mean, man, anybody that's just been sidelined from that last bit is just in a bad place. Hash is going to do phenomenal with everything they've added, everything they go. This is, I think, it's similar to Destra-like quality. It has the hot narrative. It just hasn't made the same move as Destra. I think this could be an easy 10x. Hash is great. Everyone thinks it's great. I don't need to talk about it too much. Another one that fits kind of in this category is going to be Node AI. Another great one that's similar to the whole processing power narrative we mentioned. Node AI is just a good old vintage classic. You can also see these are a lot of the ones that are listed right here on the Binance list right here that I gave to you like a year ago, but whatever. Again, going to do phenomenal. I think this will easily run to a bill with all the things they got going on in the narrative and everything. We're going to see Destra and all those start to take off, and we're going to see these chase right after it. So Node's a really easy win. I think Neural has gone from the point of being a small cap to a really good smallish mid cap. This ties into the gaming and AI narrative that I think is extremely powerful and is going to give you a double dose of the two best narratives, I think, for investing in crypto right now. I think gaming is going to explode with NFTs in 2025 when it hits the real market. That's going to give Neural a whole second win. So I think this has two layers of pumpamentals behind it. And then if we're looking at some of the smaller ones that can provide the crazy returns, I think Palm is extremely undervalued right now. You can see it's just about to cross that 100 mil market cap, which is kind of like the small mid cap range. And so Palm is kind of more like the chatbot services that I mentioned before. And then if we're getting into the ones I think that are kind of still small, not too small anymore, but could do some really crazy gains, they're kind of more around the $50 million market cap. Pi, Parallel II, you can see it's at 67. Again, we got in at this at like 0.20 recently, so we're all doing pretty well here already. Actually, I believe when we started talking about it, it was at about 10 cents. So we're doing really good on it so far. And the reason why I really like this coin is I think any of the coins that provide infrastructure, specifically power, the demand for AI power is going to be out the freaking moon once AI picks up here. Pi ties directly into that. I think that's going to be why it succeeds bigly. Then the other ones we're going to get into on the list that I think are really undervalued. I think ZKML, that ties a lot more in DePIN. It's partnered with anyone. A lot of things they're doing. I think $40 million market cap is too low. It's one of the better coins in my opinion, but it's still sitting at a really low market cap, even though it's fully diluted. So I think ZKML is going to do phenomenal. And the narrative that I talked about before with Altura, a coin that's very similar to Altura, but at 1/3 the market cap, is Condux, bringing a lot of technology to AI and NFTs, which I think is going to be huge. Still sitting at a pretty low market cap, so I think it can give really big multiples if we just see it run to like a $300 million market cap, which I think is going to be low at the peak of the AI run. I think the hysteria we're going to see is going to make that actually like a low market cap. And at that point, you probably really should be taking a lot of profits. And then the final coin on the list that I want to talk about today would just be Pinlink. This one came on and I think everybody recognized it last week. We talked about it when it was like down here. Again, you should follow me on Twitter. Pinlink allows the renting of people's computers and servers to enable all this stuff. So it basically allows people to turn their own processing power into real world assets on top of all those types of infrastructure it provides for real world assets. This is more of an RWA coin, which stands for real world assets, which I've sent 3 times in the last 15 seconds. So hopefully you understand it's a real world asset coin, but it deeply ties into AI. And I think as the AI narrative takes off with the focus it has on renting AI servers, it's going to zoom as well. I think this one's going to go nuts. It already has gone nuts because people recognize the quality behind it. And so that's really where I'm going to draw the line at. Now, the thing I want to point out is all the coins I just mentioned, that's kind of my personal list of coins. There is so much gold in here that is going to do similar numbers. And I don't think, as long as you're picking decent coins you've done your own research in, I don't think you're going to see wildly different multiples. So for example, if Condux is at like a $30 million market cap, if it does a 10x, there's probably a lot of coins similar to Condux that are around that area that are going to do similar moves like that. There are similar coins to Palm. There are similar coins For example, like Veracity's really damn good and similar to AOS, you know? And so if you're going through this list, there's so many good coins in here, and I think you should use the logic that I'm looking at and using in this video, because there's no reason to have a coin bag of 50, 60 coins. If you look at my bag right here, I'm really in on about 15 coins or so in AI. And look, I could add 60 other coins and make 60 other recommendations, but there's no point because they're all going to start getting similar gains from here. And if you're in 60 coins, that's just 60 coins you have to monitor and look after. And so if you're going to get really degen here, my first advice is, again, if you're new to this, just stop at the top coins I mentioned. Call it a day. You're not going to be able to exit all these coins profitably. Keep your bag small. If you are kind of a little bit more degen and you have more experience here, keep your bag lower than 10, 15 coins. You don't need to be in every single damn coin in AI. Yes, you might miss out on some super duper crazy pumps here and there, but overall, your bag is probably going to perform like every other bag in AI if you have a good range of coins like the ones I mentioned or ones you do your own research in, which I super duper suggest you do, because again, hundreds of thousands of people watch these videos. You're not beating the herd right here. You're just getting into the curve early, because I still think a lot of people watching YouTube and getting in the crypto right now are still early to the overall move. We haven't seen Bitcoin break 100,000 cleanly yet. And we still have not seen Ethereum's all-time high. And I don't think the party even starts until we see Ethereum cross all-time high. But that all being said, that and the past of this video and what we've discussed about Cardano holders are cuckolds. Had to get one of those in on this video. That's what I think about AI. Those are the coins I'm looking at. I think this move is going to start in days, if not this week. I think Ethereum is about to make its move, and once Ethereum makes its move, it's basically giving the thing planes take off on. A runway. It's giving the runway an approval for all of the altcoins and degeneracy to happen in these narratives and all these super overvaluations that take off. So I think this is where you should be looking. This is where you should be sticking your dick, because heavens to Mary, my dick is deep inside the pencil sharpener of risk when it comes to AI coins. So why don't you join me? We can make a lot of money or lose our entire life savings together. And at least when we're all broke as fuck, we can fist bump in the homeless shelter and just be like, well, at least Cardano holders lost all their money too. We can take solace in that. So that's all I have to say in this video. Goodbye.